Hello YouTube! I am Pinstar and this is Pinstar Plays Ark Nova. So Ark Nova is one of my favorite board games out there. It is essentially a game where you are building a zoo. And it's got a lot of really clever mechanics to it. It is an absolute blast to play IRL. And now Direwolf has released a digital version of it. This came out of the blue. I had no idea that they were even working on this. So, you know what? I mean, I love this game. I want to share it. I want to share it with you and teach you how to play it and give you some strategy insights to it. So, let us dive in. We are going to do it versus the AI. Let's just do it to 3 AI for now. 4 can be a little overwhelming. We will have them on their hard difficulty and advanced standard. This is the original boxed rules is the advanced standard. There are a number of different maps, I believe 8 of them in total, and each player gets dealt 2 of them, and between those 2 you must pick one, and that is the map you play on. And the maps are different. There are bonuses and other aspects to them, but I'll teach you as we go. Okay, so we have our two maps that we have is Observation Tower, which is gain 2 attraction every time you flip a standard enclosure next to the Observation Tower here. I'll tell you what that means as we go along. Or Ice Cream Parlors. Every time you cover an ice cream parlor spot, you get a kiosk. And if you have all of them covered, you get extra income from each kiosk. Between these 2, I like Ice Cream Parlors better as a map. So I'm going to go with Ice Cream Parlors. Our opponents are going to have their own maps. Okay, now the way the game starts out is you are dealt 8 cards from the deck, and you must keep 4 and ditch 4 of them. And this is a very important decision to make. But let me give you a little tour along here. So we have, to our name, we have 25 bucks, and we have currently negative 14 victory points. Everyone starts out with negative victory points. The object of the game is to get appeal, which is basically those little ticket icons. That's how popular your zoo is. And conservation points. That is basically how much you have contributed to the animal welfare of the world. And, to conserving, endangered species and what have you. So it's you get points from either directions and both. And the goal is the game will end once a player has reached 100 victory points. Now, over here, there are 3 randomly selected global conservation goals that you can do. So, in this aspect, we're trying to accumulate a lot of reptiles, a lot of animals that are native to Africa, and a lot of animals that are native to Europe. We also have 2 personal goals, or potential ones. We only get to pick one of these 2. One is Large Animal Zoo, so we get extra conservation points at the end of the game for having lots of large animals. And this one is Conservation Zoo by supporting a lot of little conservation projects. So with all of that said, we need to, with our map in mind, sort of chart a course. Figure out what is our best bet here. All right, so let's see what we have here. All right, so we have Europe. We have one European. You can see the tags in the corner here. This shows that it is a bird. This shows that it is native to Europe. But we also require a European tag to play this white stork. And it requires a size 4 enclosure or a slot in an aviary, but that's a more advanced building. So this isn't really playable, and it's actually not very popular. Only 4 conservation, not great. This is actually a pretty garbage hand, if I'm going to be real honest here. I mean, we have the Fennec. Fennec is Africa. So that we got that going for us, but not much else. I'm trying to think what's our best play here. Because Australia, I mean, I wish one of the things was birds. We got plenty of birds, but that's not one of our conservation goals. Now, let's see. So, global breeding program is an interesting one. This basically lets us back conservation programs a little bit more aggressively. Basically, it counts as a wild card. So, for example, if we only had one Africa tag, we could support Africa at a 2 and use one of these wild cards, and you could do that twice. That kind of leads into our conservation zoo where we want to support a lot of little projects. So I could get behind that. So we can take that one. Now you do have to get 2 different partner zoos. That's what these are before you can play this card. So it's not something you can do right off the bat. Man, these are just kind of really weak. The other play that we could go is for an early upgrade of our sponsors action to play Basic Research and Science Lab. Draw a card from your deck. So that's a possibility. In one for every 2 different continent and or animal category. So basically this gives us some early conservation points potentially, but we need to get some early animals on board here. And I mean, so we could get the fennec fox. I'm not really a big fan of the white stork here. It's a great release animal, but it's not that good otherwise. And then Science Lab is pretty darn good. So yeah, we might go that route and then just see if we can tech into a better animal before we play our Basic Research. This is a really awkward starting hand. I'm going to be real truthful with you, especially since we have our... So the way the game works as far as your actions, you have 5 different actions. You have build, you have cards, which lets you draw cards. You have association, which lets you back conservations or get research university partnerships, zoo partnerships, or just gain reputation. Sponsorships, which lets you play these sponsorship cards. And then animals, which lets you play animals. The strength at which you can do these things is dependent on where they are in the position. So if we wanted to build the size 5 enclosure, we would need our build at a strength 5. We only need a size 1 for the fennec fox. So yeah, this is kind of a little awkward here. All right, and I know there's also native farm animals, which is another possibility. This is another one that you have to play early. Man, do I want to just not do the Basic Research and do native farm animals instead? Nah, we can do better than this. We can do better than this. All right, let's do something. Let's take these. This is, like I said, a really awkward hand. All right, now luckily we have things up here. So these are the cards in the card tray. So one of the things you can do is if you let cards get up to a 5, you can activate a power called snapping, which lets you just grab one of these, which is not too bad. Now, some of these are going to be kind of hard to play, like the Eagle and the Indian Cobra require, well, the Indian Cobra requires 2 science tags, and you have to have your animals card upgraded to level 2. That's going to be a little tricky. Greater Flamingo is not bad. That one's actually pretty good. I could absolutely get behind Greater Flamingo. Yeah, in fact, I might even not do the Fennec Fox right off the bat and do a Greater Flamingo. And now the other thing on this one, so just to give you more on the anatomy, this card costs me $16 to play. It requires a size 3 enclosure, and that little water droplet means that the enclosure must be next to water in order for it to count, in order for you to play it. But you do get 7 attraction points, which is really, really good. And Posturing 1, which is the special ability, lets you build a free kiosk for, well, free, which is really handy. And then we could use that to cover that, which gives us another free kiosk or pavilion. Well, this one is just a kiosk, but yeah, we can go from there. All right, so let's do that. Let's actually make the play. Ignore our hand for a moment and just go straight for the flamingo. So we're going to do our build action, but we're going to take it at a size 3. Now you have to start from one of the edges of your range here. We could actually build it right here, right now. That would give us the kiosk right off the bat. We could put the kiosk like here, and then yeah, the posturing. Whenever you cover a bonus, you get that bonus. So this would let us build the kiosk. We could get Foreign Institute. Gain 1 for having 5 different at the end of the game. Yeah, that's all that does. Oh yeah, but it also gives us 2. It gives us 2 reputation right off the bat. But we already have plenty of sponsors to play, so I'm probably not that interested in playing that right now. We do definitely want to play over here because this is by the water and we need that for the flamingo. So I'm going to take this and play it over here. And I think yeah, we're going to put you here. Now, it costs me $2 per tile. So that's $6 off my thing, which gives us 19, which is enough to play the flamingo once we snap it. So we get to build a kiosk. And again, we could cover either of these. Now, the way kiosks work is you get $1 per break for every different thing touching it. This is not an active enclosure yet, but once we fill it, it becomes that. So we want to be able to have multiple things touching it. This one over here is draw a card from reputation range or off the top of the deck. Our reputation is 1 right now, which means we could only choose the Foreign Institute. And I don't think we're going to be able to get around to playing that because of all the other sponsors we have all vying for our sponsorship, which is it randomly started at a lower section here. So that's a little awkward. So yeah, we're going to put it up here just for financial viability purposes. And you don't have to pay for that one. Normally you do, but it's a freebie. All right, that's our turn. So now our AI, all right, they went for a partner zoo. They got, and they went for that partner zoo. Fair enough. Now, we could go for partner zoos too. the question becomes, do we want to? And I think the answer is yes. So a partner zoo, because we need 2 different partner zoos to qualify for global breeding program. So we want to go that route rather than the university route. And since we're going to be grabbing posturing, grabbing this flamingo, and they're Europe, and that's a thing here, let's do that. We're going to snap, and we're going to grab the flamingo. That way our opponents don't get a chance to snap. Now, there's a few different things that advance the break token. So now you can see break is 2 out of 12. Playing a card's action advances the break marker by 2. And whenever anyone takes an action that advances the break, it marches closer to 12. When it hits or surpasses 12, that's the end of the round. Everyone has to discard down to their hand size, which is by default 3. But also everyone gets their income, which right now is only 5 for me. We obviously do not want to. Also, you only get 1 worker that you can use an association action with to start with. You get that worker back, but you can also get more workers later on. All right, let's end our turn. All right, now we can yeah, I want to upgrade our I want to get our first upgrade first. So we're going to get our European partner zoo. So one of the benefits is that it makes playing animals from that region $3 cheaper. So now we only have to pay $13 when we play our flamingo, which is nice. All right, so we really want to play our sponsorship because that's at a 5 right now, but we don't have it flipped. We don't have it upgraded yet. We need to qualify for an upgrade. There's a couple of different ways to get upgrades. If you get 5 reputation to your reputation to a 5, you get to upgrade. If you get 2 different partner zoos, you can get an upgrade. If you get 2 different universities, you can do an upgrade. And for the first 2 conservation points that you get, you can choose an upgrade. So there's a number of different ways to do it. The problem is I can't go and get another partner zoo until our first break. So that's probably going to just sit there. Now the question is, we could just play the Foreign Institute. The problem is that it requires a strength of 6. How do you get a strength of 6? X tokens. X tokens let you increase the value of your action. So I could do a size 2 enclosure to wrap into this and grab the X token, which would then let me grab the Foreign Institute or play the Foreign Institute. The main thing is we're almost at the break. We need to get crap out of our hand or we're going to be forced to discard it. So let's play our animal before we are forced to discard, because that would be terrible. Also, your income is based on your appeal. So if the break happened right now, we are at 0 appeal, so our income sucks. So now let's get our greater flamingo in. All right, posturing 1. In fact, I don't want to draw the card because then we're just going to have to discard it anyway. So we'll just go with the $5 covering that up. We could also actually put it over here because we don't need the $5 now, and this counts as an additional item, as an additional thing. So it actually raises our income by 1 because it's another building next to the kiosk. So now our break income is 13. 2 from our appeal, which is much higher now, and 1 from, actually 2 from our kiosk, because it's giving us a bonus $2, which is good. You don't want to fall behind on income. Now, I don't think the AI is going to be breaking because they both have a lot of money right now. In fact, I could be a mean meanie pants and just break here. We would have to discard something, in which case I would probably pitch the Fennec. Or I could do a size 2. Well, we have $6. We could do a size 2, which would cost us 4, get us the X token. Or we could just do a size 1. Well, then we wouldn't have the X token. But then we wouldn't draw the card. Tricky order of operations here, I know. But yeah, I don't think this Fennec is long for this world. The other thing we could do is do a size 1 on the $5 spot, which, let me do the math here. We've got $6. A size 1 costs us 2, down to 4, which brings us up to 8. So we could exactly play the Fennec and get us a little bit more appeal. The clever effect lets us just move one of our card types down here. But that would get it out of our hand so we wouldn't have to discard it, and it would give us extra tags so that basic research pays off better. Okay. I should have just ended my turn on the AI cook here. Oh, well, they grabbed the Foreign Institute anyway, so water under the bridge there. All right, let's build our size 1. Bit of an inefficient action, but it does what we need it to do. Ah, they caused the break before I could play my Fennec. Dang it. I mean, I really do kind of want the global breeding program. I don't want to lose the science lab because that's really powerful. I don't want to lose basic research because that's useful in of its own self, but you really had to cause the break, you jerk. You have so much money left over. I thought they were going to, do stuff. But that is part of the strategy of the game, is strategically causing the breaks when you need more money or when your opponents really would prefer it not to. So, yeah, draw a card from the deck or within reputation range. This is so powerful just to get immediately and then once per round, just like as a freebie. It's really good. Do we sacrifice the breeding program? I mean, it is so in line with what we are looking to do. Now the problem is I want to keep the breeding program. All right, we're going to ditch the basic research. As much as it pains me. We'll wait on actually playing the Fox, because now we don't actually need it right off the bat. All right, they reached a 5, so they got their first card upgrade. We actually now, we can get our second partner zoo. Yes, and we have Europe. You can't get the same zoo, the same partner zoo twice, but we can get Africa, which will make the Fox cheaper, and give us our upgrade, which will be sponsors. Also, these things, so like I took Africa. This round, nobody else can take Africa. But until next round, somebody else can take Africa. Yes, we are upgrading sponsors. So sponsors now lets us play sponsorships from the tray for a little bit extra money, but also lets us play the higher tier ones here. And we can also play Global Breeding Program. But I'm going to go Science Lab first. And I think I'm going to draw from the deck because our reputation range is just this monkey, which requires 3 other monkeys. So we're better off just taking something from the top of the deck randomly. And they went Europe. Okay, yeah, let's play our... Oh yeah, the other thing this does is it makes your sponsorship act as if it were +1 more, and you can play multiples if you had X tokens to boost up your thing. We don't have enough X tokens to play both of these, so we're just going to take Science Lab. And yeah, we'll take it from the top of the deck here. Oh my! Gain 2 for each time you've supported. Wow. Okay, we need more science tokens. More science tags, rather. That's really good. Okay. What do we want to do? I don't see any other... Let's see. The tapir doesn't help us out. We're looking for reptiles. We need to wait till we upgrade that before we... So I don't think that's in the cards. We do have a cards action, though. We might just take a base cards action, which is just drawing 3 off the top of the deck, and then discarding 1. It's close enough, or we're far enough from the break that I'm not too worried. Knock on wood. And we might get a second playable animal to combo with the fox, because when you have your animals at a 5, you can play 2 animals. We just have to build it in enclosure. Yeah, I think that's the smart idea. So we're just going to draw from the deck. Crested porcupine. Hey, perfect. Guinea pig. We could also play a petting zoo. Petting zoo. And now we have to discard a card. Primatologist gives us money every time a primate is played, but since that's not a tag that we're worried about, and we have a million other ones, I'll discard primatologist here. But yeah, crested porcupine, really good. Petting zoo animals are an interesting one. So you can build only 1 petting zoo, and it's 3 tiles large. When you do that, though, you can then put multiple petting zoo animals in there. They give you more appeal for each one you have. The first one only gives you 3, which is crappy. The second one gives you 6, and the third one gives you 9. So basically, if you're going petting zoo animals, you want lots of petting zoo animals. All right, so now we can build something. We could technically build a petting zoo for that. I mean, it would give us the same appeal. It would also let us, more importantly, it would let us cover more ground. Because I want to cover up this kiosk here. Yeah, you have to attach things to other things in order to do that. The other thing we could do is build it inverted like that. That would give us a card draw from reputation range, which again is not that great, but also give us a play sponsor for money, so we could pay for just to play the global breeding program if we wanted to. But I think that's not the direction we want to go in here. And actually, yeah, we could do Europe 4 with that in there, because we already have Europe 2. So yeah, we definitely want the porcupine. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna build a size. Well, actually, yeah, we could do that. Although we are dangerously close. So let's build. I'm going to build a size 2. And I mean, we could go over here and hit that with it, like grab that with it, but I don't think that's going to work. I mean, maybe we don't lunge for the second one. Maybe we build just the size 1 right here, because that will also boost off of this kiosk. Not super efficient, but you know what? We'll take it. As long as they don't break before we get a chance to play our animals, because that would make me sad. How the heck did you play an elephant this early in the game? Holy crap. Alright, well, they're one to watch. All right, we got to play our animals. So now, since our animals are at a 5, we get to play 2 different animals as long as we can afford it, which we can. In fact, we can more than afford it. So we can start with... We can start with... Which one is there an order of operations that we want? Clever lets us discard a card in our discard a card from either the tray or our hand. If we do it from our hand, it replaces it with another card. I don't know if we have enough for medical breakthrough as far as a way forward. We could get a research university to get 2. Yeah, actually, you know, we'll do that. So we'll start with you, the porcupine. Yeah, we'll do digging too, and then you, like I said, actually, you know what? We're going to get rid of this. I'm gonna dig away that, and is there a card I want to get rid of that would, you know, be good for our opponents but not us? Actually, I want to get rid of this because it's a reptile. We're not doing reptiles, and I don't want to get envenomed. Oh, small animals. Well, hey, it's a special research conservation project that we can back. Handy that. Now, Clever lets us shuffle one of our actions back to the back. As soon as the break is caused here, we will want to take our associate. So I don't want to shuffle that. We don't want to shuffle that. I'm okay shuffling cards back. All right, Quarantine Lab lets them ignore hostile actions. All right, let's get our global breeding program down since we have the prerequisites for it. Now someone just needs to call. Yep, there's the break. All right, about time. Also, every time there's a break, these 2 cards drop off. Oh yeah, I forgot our science lab. Every time there's a break, we get a free card, either from reputation, which our reputation is only 1 card. Do we want you? Not particularly. So I'll probably go off the top, but we also get our... Yeah, I'll go off the top. Ooh, Eurasian lynx. That gives us more, that's worth more as you have more and more, as everyone has more and more Europe icons, which is fantastic. We might be able to do Europe 5 with our boost here. But let's start by backing Yeah, actually, I want to back small animals to start with. It's a custom one rather than one of these, but that's okay. I mean, we could also use this to back Africa too. Actually, I might be more interested in backing Africa too, because I'm not going to go too crazy with Africa animals right now. And that would let us also deny it, because once you back something at a certain level, your opponents cannot play that. So this AI already has Africa 3, so they're probably shooting for a higher Africa total, which is fine. This AI has no Africa tiles, only one reptile. You're going for, you know, we're going to go for that. So, do I want, actually, you know what? I should do small animals because it gets it out of our hands. We're not going to be exclusively going small animals. So we'll go for you. Now, when you do that, you get a choice of different rewards. These are, you can either snap a card immediately and then once per round get 5 money, either immediately or once per round. Get a size 2 enclosure, or I usually go for taking a free association worker. That lets us get 2 workers. And now, yeah, we get our association worker. We get our 2, and now we get our first thing. You can either get another worker or an upgrade. We want the upgrade. Now, what do we want to upgrade? So there's, I'm trying to see if there's anything. There's cards is important for that. We can get build. So upgraded build lets you build multiple things. Like you can break up your number of points into multiple structures, which is really, really useful. In fact, I'm going to do build. All right, that was a good turn. And I'm so happy we got the Eurasian lynx. You released the African elephant? Holy crap. So, yeah, that's one of the things you can do is release animals, and that gives you a whole boatload of stuff. Now, the other thing is other people can take advantage of the release projects. Like, for example, we could decide to release our... porcupine, because this thing says release a herbivore, and while they took the size 5 slot, or 4 or 5, we could take this slot and get 3 conservation points. And again, since we want a lot of little points, the minute our association gets back up there, we can do that, all the while building up for more points for these. But let's build. So we're going to do a size 3 for the Eurasian lynx here. And yeah. Also, build lets you cover up these spots over here. Yeah, we want that. Or do we want, like... also, kiosks need to be 3 spaces away from each other. So yeah, that's probably a better fit. So we start with you. That triggers that effect, which lets us build a kiosk, which we want right here. That does not count towards our build limit, by the way. And now we can keep building. We have 2 points left. You can also only build 1 of each type of building on a given turn. Yeah, the play sponsor for money does not help us out. And yeah, we lost our other sponsor here. We could do a clever, but I don't want to clever back animals because we do actually want to legitimately play an animal. So we'll go for a pavilion here. All right, we will take that. And yeah, I'm not particularly excited about that still, so we'll just take off the top. It's a petting zoo animal. All right, at some point I need to do a petting zoo. This is actually a good spot for a petting zoo because that's the exact shape of it. So I'm going to keep these 3 tiles open for it. I could do another card. We're far from the break, so let's just put you down here and get another card off the deck. Expert in herbivores. Well, there you go. Ooh, look at you. European bison for a double. Ooh. What's our cards action like? Man, so how many Europe tags do we have? We have 3. This would be 4. And then our opponents have 1, which is 5. So this would get that. But if we got the bison, man. If we got that played first, that would be fantastic. Granted, we don't have the money for it, and that's just probably being extremely greedy. So maybe we shouldn't. Man, it's too bad I just used our build action because we could have built a petting zoo and then double animaled our lynx and petting zoo. We could always just play the expert in herbivores now because, again, our upgraded sponsor gives us a +1 effectiveness. And we're not too close to the break, so let's do that. That way, if our opponents play herbivores, we get more money too. All right, they got the Asia Partner Zoo. Yeah, if we had an X token, we could boost that up by 1 and then grab that, but... Oh yeah, we could do... Well, I don't want to do another partner zoo. We actually should wait till that gets to 4 and grab the research university. All right, I guess I'm going to bite the bullet and just play the lynx. I mean, the other option we have is we can X back one of our actions, and get an X token. So we could X back animals, because you only need animals at a 2 in order to play an animal. Now, if we X back the action, yeah. See, that's the thing. Even if we got the bison, it's not going to. We'd only have 13, and it would cost us 10 to make a size 5 enclosure. So we might as well just play the lynx. I do still kind of want the sponsor, although we don't need to get the bison now because we're just 1 off from Europe 5. Oh, somebody caused the break already. Well, I'm glad I did that because then I locked in a higher income. Ooh, the ibis. I mean, the ibis is really good. The ibex, rather. I'll take that. All right, back to our cards action. Europe wolf is good. We don't have a lot of predator. Well, we have 2 predator tags, actually. So wolf would actually be pretty decent, but let's not get too distracted here. We unfortunately, they did break before we could use our extra worker here. So we lost the use of one of our workers. But now that, you know, we can back another project here. In fact, we should probably back Gear Up 5 because there are extra reward goodies when you reach certain levels, like an extra partner zoo. Although we already have 2 partner zoos, we can't gain that benefit. But we can go up here and get 2 reputation or 3x tokens. And that would give us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that wouldn't be quite enough if we did a 5er. Now, if you can get additional partner zoos if you upgrade your association card, but we haven't done that yet. So maybe we don't play we don't do that. We get our first university here, so that we can get medical breakthrough going. Oops, hang on. There we go. Do want to keep an eye on that. Hydrologist is an interesting one. They get us money when we play next to water, but we've already played next to most of our water. Oop, no. Hang on. No, I don't want any of these displayed. Cons find it. All right, there we go. All right, we've got. What do we want to do? I do want the university, and I want the more specific. I mean, we can get the research university. We need the research university, and then also the other one. So we might as well take the one that gives us 2 reputation as well, because that's going to be useful to us. Because 5 reputation gives us another card upgrade. But part of me really, really just wants to, I mean, because then if we get another card upgrade, then we can lunge for this one and actually utilize the partner zoo. And yeah, we do want to play as many sponsorships as we can. Okay, yeah, we have too many things that want us to play lots of different sponsorships, so we will find our science tags elsewhere or later. So we need to play the cards action. Do we want to take from the deck or do we want to snap? There is nothing here that is yelling at me to snap it up. I mean, the wolf is nice, but we don't need the wolf. We have plenty of Europe icons. So it doesn't actually do anything for me, so I'm actually going to just take from the deck. All right. Well, it's an Africa icon, but it's also really awkward to play because it's huge and takes up a lot of space. So, yeah. Dusky Leaf Monkey's pretty decent. Not what we're looking for, though. The Quaddle could be a thing. I might just ditch. I mean, the Bennett's Wallaby is probably one of the better petting zoo animals because of the pouching. So I might keep that around just for the eventual petting zoo play. Inventive gain an X token. I do like me some X tokens because we're going to need to use those to shuffle our actions around, but actually Clever does a better job of that. Yeah, we'll take that. So yeah, you're worth slightly more too. So All right, he played that and he gets... Oh no, he took it. He didn't play it. Oh no, he did play it. So yeah, that was the sponsor magnet, which lets them draw all their sponsors. And of course, we get some good things right after I use up my cards action. Pilfering's a dangerous ability. But yeah, let's do this. Oh, you're up to 4 Europe icons? Oh, we gotta back this like now to make sure that we secure the 5. Cause yeah, no, we're not putting up with that. Guided school tours, an interesting play. But I think the play here is the Rhino, because this lets you add another whole conservation card to your hand. Which would, necessitate... Actually, we could take pouching to lose cards from your hand to gain 4. Because we have some excess cards that we don't really want. And that triggers every single round. So as long as we keep an excess of cards in our hand, which we get because of the science thing. Yeah, you know what? Let's do pouching. As much as it pains me, because we already have a ton of projects that we can back. I'm going to take the pouching. So this allows us to ditch up to 2 cards from our hand. We'll get rid of you, and we'll get rid of you. And we get 2 points of appeal each time. And now that we get that right away, and then at the end of every single break, we get to do that again. So we just need to make sure that we take some extra cards that we don't particularly want. And yeah, we're going to miss out on that, so we just take the $5 reward. Yeah, you've claimed Europe 4. I just didn't want them to... they got the 2 reputation. Oh, and they play the Rhino. Yep. I might have slipped up by letting them keep that, but we'll see. Oh, there's the other Rhino. Handy that. All right. So, I mean, I want to cover this up, but we would need... So do we build for the ostrich? We have the money for it. We could build the aviary, actually. So that's, you have to have build upgraded to get the advanced buildings. The aviary is kind of tricky to place, though. Yeah, we would cover this play sponsor for money. We don't have any other angles to play the play sponsor for money. Fortunately, this one disrupts our downward pointing angle for the aviary. So we could just play a regular size 5 and then play the aviary later, and because then we can move the bird to the aviary if we were so inclined. Yeah, why not? All right, regular size 5. And I'll play the setup here. because I'm not ready to cover the play sponsor for money tile. But I do like an X token. Oh yeah, end our turn. So one thing we can do is play a sponsor from reputation range, which means we could well, actually no, that's not within reputation range because our reputation kind of sucks. So we can just play the animal because I don't have two animals to play. Sprint 2 just lets us draw 2 from the top. And then we'll take the 8 appeal. Ooh, some release projects here. Interesting. And what do you use? Species diversity. So we have a 3 in species diversity, which unfortunately they already took. So we would need to either claim the twofer or go higher. I might just cause the break here. Get some extra cash. Not that we need the cash. We're gonna have to discard down, but you know what? That's fine. Because when you break for just cash, it increases the break by the strength of your break action. So we increased it by 5, which is enough to cause the break. Yeah, unfortunately we have to discard a card first before we get to do our pouching, which is fine. We'll get rid of Yosemite here. But now we can take a card first. I don't want anybody to get that pilfering monkey. So what I'm going to do is draw a card from deck or reputation range, grab that one, and then do our pouching. And I mean, actually, we could actually play the monkey. So yeah, let's ditch the Ibex and the Sea Cave. And that's 4 free appeal. All right. I'm surprised the Rhino has survived this long. All right, our association is close to 5, and we have the X tokens to actually push it over the limit at this point. Oh, and we can play the Sun Bear, which lets us put our association back up at that. Okay, I think I'm going to snap the Sun Bear because of its ability. Then we can play association naturally. Then we can build for the bear. I don't actually know if this medical breakthrough is ever going to be happening. I mean, it seems very wrong. I should be snapping for the Rhino. And ultimately I have enough money to play it properly. So yeah, let's just grab the Rhino. I should do that. Time enough later to get that. I just don't want our opponents to. That's 2 more Africa icons right here. So if we sync both of our X tokens, now we won't have enough. So we're just going to need to we could get species diversity. We could do a release of herbivores. Because we don't need more Europe icons. We already cashed in our Europe. Yeah, we'll do the Europe, the release here. We could take snapping, and then that would let us snap up the sloth bear. Yeah, let's do snapping. So we release our porcupine. We can say which enclosure we want to free up. We want that one because this one helps this one stay profitable. We get to immediately take the snap action, which we will use to get the sloth bear. And we can take, oh, yes, I will take 3x tokens. That will help us cycle our actions even faster. And now everybody has to discard a thing. We want to discard large animal zoo because we're going for lots of association actions. So we could play this, and then bear plus monkey. We're still not going to be able to properly utilize play sponsors for money, but that's okay. Let's go down this way. Because the bear doesn't need anything, neither does the monkey as far as terrain goes. So we'll go for a size 3 here. And then we'll do a size 2 here and pick up the 1 reputation. So now we're finally at a 2 reputation. Oh, break already? All right, well, you know what? I am giving up on the medical breakthrough. I'm sorry. Okay, so we get to take cards and then we get to do our pouching. So first off, is there anything that we want to snap? Not particularly. I mean, we're going to snap something, but I think we're just going to draw something from the deck and snap something that we don't want our opponents to get. Yeah, Europe's pretty much spent at this point. The Marabou, let's get rid of the Marabou. And then we pouch 2. I'm really glad we took that pouching. That's our 3rd iteration of that. We have more money than we know what to do with, but we're about to spend a whole ton of it. All right, play 2 animals. Let's pilfer first, because we might pilfer a sponsor. Oh yeah, you can only pilfer from, well, first off, this guy has the lab, and you can only pilfer from people that you're behind on, and we're actually ahead, so we don't get to pilfer, but that's okay. And now we get to play our bear. And yeah, we can now move our association to rank 5. So now we get to associate again. What species tag are we missing? Reptile. We're missing reptiles. We have no reptiles. Because otherwise we could play a... Oh, actually, no! We can play... we have our thing that lets us boost it at a 5. The wild card. This thing. We still have a tag left on it. So yeah, we can back that at a 5. That wild card is paying dividends. Yeah, we don't need more money. We don't need more income. A random size 2 that we get to build more size 2s as we go along, I guess. Or it's either that or a $5 income. But again, we don't really need the money. And we are. You can only hold 5x tokens, so the 3x token reward does not help. So we'll take the. Yeah, we'll put you here. Pick up the extra reputation. Yeah, 5 more. Our conservation is through the roof. And now we could just boost. Well, we want to play the rhino. Research zoo. That's fine. There's the aviary. We could play an aviary here. That would let us, as a free action, move our bird from here, which would then allow us to play the rhino there. And would also instantaneously cover up a card and a our last kiosk. And then we could release it with the low mountain range. Yeah, that is the correct answer here. Because we certainly don't have any sponsors to grab. Our upgraded sponsor thing is kind of languishing right now, and I don't want to burn it for. There you go. Yes, you may move. So we can move. Are there any other animals that we can move there? Yeah, not just because they're birds doesn't mean they can go there, but the ostrich can go. So now that takes up 4 spaces in this enclosure, but it frees up this one. We will take a card. We will take the low mountain range. And then we will get... we could play it here, and then would give us a 2 income. Yeah, why not? And now that activates our thing that we get more income for each kiosk that we build. Our turn, eh? All right. We want to do another conservation thing, but we also want to play our rhino. Still nowhere near the break. I mean, maybe we take 2 cards off the top. Just in case we get some sponsorships to play. Not a super strong action, but might be worth it. No, but we get a tiger. We don't have the Asia tags, but we do have northern giraffe. So we have 4, which actually we could actually do Africa 5 right now with our wild card, because I think our wild card is still. Because actually, I realized we didn't use it in our last one. Oh, but we need another worker. So when you put a worker on a particular tile, in this case, here, you tie up. So we would need university here. And then we could upgrade association. Yeah, we have to wait for a break before. Man, in which case I might just cause the break with our sponsor here. Yeah, again, we don't need the income for it, but I'll cause the break here. Because I want to be able to back an association. We do need to get another worker. So the other sources of workers is getting a 3rd partner zoo, which is. Now we'll be able to soon upgrade association. Yeah, let's get rid of the tiger. We're not going to be able to play that. All right. We will snap. What is a problematic? Oh, the golden eagle. Golden eagle is not problematic, but it's real good. Like, it's real good. And then you can grab from the top. Oh yeah, we got a size 2. We can build a size 2. Actually, can I go back? No, because I drew randomly from the top. Damn. I should have taken side entrance so that I could play it from... I don't want to clever down animals. I don't want to clever down that. We'll just stick you down here. Get our X token back. Pouch 2. Yeah, you're getting pouched, and then you know what? We don't need to do our release. We can get rid of low mountain range. We have enough. So the nice thing about the Golden Eagle is this determination lets you take another turn immediately, which is disgusting. Oh, but we can't. We need upgraded animals to play that. We need upgraded animals. All right. Well, how are we going to play this if we need upgraded animals? How are we going to get our animals card upgraded in a timely manner? We need two more reputation to get to an upgrade. You can get a 2 upgrade from here, but association is not upgraded. So we would have to waste a whole association action on that, and that's terrible. Well, we'll have to wait on the eagle for a hot minute. Oh, the dingo's not too bad. And unfortunately, we don't have a size 3 available. Yeah, I really, really need this eagle. So, all right, here's the insane part. Do we take that for the 2 rep? Or no, do we just get a 2 rep uni? Yeah, we just do the 2 rep uni. And then we upgrade animals, and then we can play Rhino Eagle. And then we can use a bunch of X tokens to get our association back up and back something. Yes, that is the correct answer. Because I really want to play, and that's the nice thing with the aviary. It only takes 1 spot in the aviary, which we happen to have free. And then our rhino can go up here. All right, big animals action. Also, now that animals is upgraded, we get another reputation for playing it at a 5. Let's do the rhino first. And we need to determine what bonus card do we get to draw. And these are from the base ones. So these ones are actually a little bit easier compared to some of the others. Habitat diversity, predators. Predators could be a good one. Herbivores? No. Not birds, but predators probably. Yeah, we'll take predators. Or birds, because we're gonna. Or habitat diversity. We could do it at a 4 actually. No, actually, we can get more points out of predators. Golden eagle. And we get to choose an action. Guess what? We're associating. Oops. Actually, we could associate. Oh no, association. You can do multiple associations if it's upgraded, but it's not. So we're only going to do it at that. And we're going to get Africa 5. And we're going to get 3 X tokens out of that. We're at 91 points, so we are not far from crossing. Unfortunately, our workers are spent, and we're not going to be able to associate again until the break. Well, they just did a lot of breaking for us. Very kind of them. You do get 7 association if you 7 appeal if you literally fill up every square inch of your park. But we could go build for like the northern giraffe. We're not going to get the play sponsors for money as much as we really want it. Unless I all right, is there a world? All right, hang on, hear me out. We've got a total of 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 spaces to fill. Although if I would go for something, it wouldn't be that. It would probably be, actually, hyena compound does not fit. Yeah, the shape does not fit in our, neither does the rhesus monkey part. Adventure Playground fits. That would be a fun one. But no, I'm more concerned about just doing more sponsorship. So we just want to force the break sooner. So we are just going to build. Yep, that's the only place left. And yeah, we're not going to... I mean, unless we... Nah, we're good. And then we'll play a kiosk right here. And a pavilion, which gives you extra money. Oh, we can clever back something. Like cards. We don't necessarily need cards. And that lets us sponsor. So we can force the break. And yeah, we want to wrap this up before their scores start catching up to us. Man, we need... So if we... Hear me out. If we play 1x token here for an animal, that's going to give us an extra rep, which will push us into this, which will allow us to play Australian Dingo from Reputation because our animals is upgraded, and then combo that with the Northern Giraffe. That's not gonna, I don't think that's going, well, that might push us over by itself. Seven. Yeah, that's probably going to push us over. And I want another sponsorship. So we're not actually going to do that. We're going to break. Because I want for... We've gained for supporting 5. If we get a 6, we get an extra end game score. So yeah, we want to break here. Nope, just breaking. We also get extra end game scoring from this one. If we already qualify for it. If we back 5 different projects, we get an extra score from Global Breeding Program. And also we get more I mean, we'll take this guy right here. We'll take you. Build the size 2. Put you up here. Pouch 2. Pouch you. And we'll pouch you, because I guarantee you we're going to cross when we play Predators here. Yeah, get your last hurrahs in. And yeah, they got their giant panda down. That's going to be a point bomb. And giant Galapagos. Wow, yeah, they got that down just in time. Yeah, they went from 50 to like 84. But now it's our turn. And we will spend an X token to choose an association. Wow, we're running out of stuff to get. I guess we'll take the money. Actually, hang on. What did we? But wait a minute. Why? This is a base conservation project game. Why are you not letting me back it at a higher level? It should, because this is officially a base conservation. It should let me use my other wild card on this, because I do have one of my wild card tokens on this to bump my effective predator count to a 4. I mean, I don't think that's going to make a huge difference, but slightly annoying. I wanted to use the last of the card. I mean, we better cross with this. Otherwise, I'm going to be very mad. No, we don't cross. I'm very mad. Man, I wish I kept those dingoes. Let's undo the whole turn. Give us a moment. So we can play from reputation range, expert in predators, and then that will let us support. It's a waste of a thing. We shouldn't have to, but either that or we play. Although we can always release the ostrich. No, we got rid of that. Do we have an herbivore of exactly size 3? I don't think we do. Yeah, we have that's a size 4. We can't do that. We don't have any reptiles, so we are banking on the predators. All right, fine. So we only need to do a 3. Play you from reputation range, because that gives us another predator tag. Still rather obnoxious. Because that gives them a chance to catch up. Alright, so they play research. Luckily that's not too big of a bomb, but now they're up to 90. They're right on my heels. And they get one more, our opponents get one more turn each. So yeah. Rather obnoxious. But now we can back you at a 4, and that lets us cross. $101, thank goodness. Man, I should have just played those 2 animals and crossed that way. Yeah, you're playing your things, but I'm not too worried. And luckily, the actions of this AI are not really good at scoring points. Well, there's the polar bear exhibit. That'll get you some points. But it's not the point bombs you can get from playing animals or backing association. All right, we get 1 for global breeding program. We get all 4 points from our conservation zoo. They get climbing park for 2 points. She gets 1 for that. She gets 3 from naturalist zoo. Woo! All right. So that was an awkward start, and actually we had the lowest appeal, but we had so much conservation that it made up for that. So that was Ark Nova. Let me know what you guys think. I am absolutely more than happy to do more of these. I might make this like an 8-game series, playing off of each of the 8 different maps. This, by the way, was Ice Cream Parlors. So if you guys like this episode and you want to see more like it, go ahead and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and leave me a comment. Good, bad, or indifferent, your feedback is always welcome. So until next time, it's been Pinstar signing out. See ya!